How's it going, folks? Welcome back to the channel. So, big news tonight. Steven Gerrard is on his way out of Rangers. He's on his way to the Premier League to take the Aston Villa job. Let's get into that. So before I start, if you're new to the channel, this is usually a Celtic channel, and if you want more Celtic videos, do hit the subscribe button below, leave a comment and like the video as well so more people can see them. I'm going to be talking about the other side of Glasgow tonight though, because Steven Gerrard is on his way out. Reports are that Aston Villa are currently in talks with Rangers about taking him away from the club. Himself and Michael Beale will be leaving the club to take over Aston Villa after Dean Smith was sacked. And this is coming as a bit of a surprise in the end, but the story moved quickly tonight, and I just wanted to come in and sort of share my thoughts on what's going on. I mean, Steven Gerrard sort of following in the footsteps of another former Liverpool employee, so maybe Liverpool is the sort of thing that they have in common there, or it is the fact that they've left their clubs mid-season to go to a mid-table Premier League side. Very interesting times indeed with Steven Gerrard off. Firstly, what that impact has or will have on Celtic going forward. Celtic are 4 points behind Rangers in the league so far. The next Glasgow derby isn't for another couple of months, so you'd have to imagine whatever manager does come in to replace him will have had time to work with the team at that point in time. But up until that point in time, that leaves some serious ground for Celtic to get momentum and potentially be ahead of Rangers by the time that derby comes around. I spoke on a video on Monday about how Celtic, if they're within 2 or 1 point of Rangers by the time that derby comes around, that I'd be confident that they could win that and go on to win the league. I'm even more confident now that if Gerrard does leave Rangers now, that the sort of domino effect that they'll have in terms of getting their manager, getting their replacement in, betting into that new manager, if that manager has a different style, all these things come into account, and suddenly I would have Celtic as strong favourites to be potentially ahead of Rangers at the point of that derby coming up and potentially win the league. I think things are really turned around, and this is one of those sort of momentous moments where it just changes the entire season. Look, Celtic fans know what this is like, the pain of this when you have a manager that you really liked. Brendan Rodgers obviously came in, won a double treble, won 7 trophies in a row, and had Celtic playing some of the best football they've ever played. Now, Steven Gerrard has only won one trophy in 9. They've fallen short in domestic cup competitions. St. Johnstone won more trophies than Gerrard has won at the club. So you have to say that. But you can understand why the Rangers fans would also be upset by this, considering he is the guy that led them to the fall of the 10 in a row, if you want to put it that way. So in terms of his success in Scotland, it's really mixed bag. His first season, you're not really expecting much of him because, I mean, Celtic were so dominant at that point and Rangers were so awful at that point. Second season in charge, yeah, you do expect them to be challenging for trophies. And then the season that they do go on to win the league, they were so dominant in the league that you expect them to also win the cups. So the fact that St. Johnstone, with the budget that they have, with the players that they have, the fact that Celtic completely capitulated for the season, it was a disappointing season for Rangers despite stopping the 10 in a row. So I don't think his legacy at Rangers will be in tatters after this, because at the end of the day, sort of like if Neil Lennon won the 10 in a row, that was such a big thing, was such a momentous thing that it changes the sort of the strength behind it, or the what fans will believe in it. I don't think it will tarnish his record. In terms of Aston Villa and what he'll do there, he's still a very unknown quantity, I think, Gerrard, as a manager. The fact that he's taken Michael Beale is very big for that move, I think, because it was too big of a risk to go by himself. And if you believe what a lot of the reports from former players and people with good sources within the club, is that Michael Beale is the real brains behind the operation. So I think he will have very good players to work with at Aston Villa. They are a mid-table Premier League side at the end of the day. I do think they have a ceiling. Is Rangers' ceiling in the Scottish League higher? That depends on how highly you weight European football. I mean, Rangers have been going well in Europe over the last couple of years, and I mean, let's face it, Aston Villa don't play in Europe. Will Aston Villa play in Europe under Gerrard? I mean, it's a much tougher battle to get into Europe in the first place. Especially the Europa League. Yeah, sure, they might get the Europa Conference League at some point if he does well. But if he does a mediocre job, if he does an okay job at Aston Villa, he's not going to get European football. The highest they can hope for is it's not like Leicester City where you looked at them and you looked at the squad and you think, okay, Brendan Rodgers is a good enough manager with enough on his CV to show that he could take Leicester into Europe. He could take them into top four, and he's done that. I don't think you're seeing enough from this Aston Villa squad to say that, yes, they're potential top four, top six side. I don't think you're seeing enough from Gerrard to say that he's a top four, top six manager. So that's the key difference here between the Brendan Rodgers move and the Steven Gerrard move. And that's something to take into account if you are an Aston Villa fan, you're excited by this. So I think it's a mixed bag in terms of Gerrard to Aston Villa and Gerrard's reign at Rangers. I don't think it's by any means a dominant reign in the same way that Brendan Rodgers had, and by no means do I think he's proven himself to the extent that Brendan Rodgers did in Scotland. So will he do well at Aston Villa? I mean, the jury's out. I think Michael Beale is a really smart move, taking him, and that's the best I can say for Gerrard moving to Aston Villa. If you're an Aston Villa fan, do drop a comment below if you want to know more about what Gerrard was doing at the club, and let me know what your thoughts are on Gerrard leaving and what that means for Celtic if you're looking at this from a Celtic standpoint as well. I'm End to Call. This is the call. If you want more of these videos, hit the subscribe button below and do like the videos. Leave a comment. It helps the channel grow and I really appreciate it as well. So that is Steven Gerrard to Europe. Just thought I'd pop on and give my 2 cents on that. Thanks for watching. Good luck.